When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, a holiday you're saving.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. This season, enjoy spacious, comfortable rooms and friendly service when you book with Hilton instead. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Hello and welcome to The Price of Football, the show that looks at the money behind the beautiful game with me, Producer Guy, standing in for Kevin Day, and Liverpool University's Kieran Maguire. And we need to start by saying this is going out, this episode, on Christmas Day. So if you're listening to it on Christmas Day, Merry Christmas.
The perfect accompaniment to peeling sprouts. And I've got to say, as a sprout hater, my life was transformed. I went to a local Indian restaurant and they did sprout barges. Oh,
yes.
That was absolute game changer.
I'd like a sprout barge.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to have the annual Price of Football meal at this said specialist place. And
Done. Yes, I like that.
There's one in Manchester. I'll say no more than that.
Oh,
there's one
okay.
in Manchester.
All right, I'm into it. So yeah, it's a great image, isn't it? Of hopefully you're listening to The Price of Football while peeling your sprouts or eating your Christmas dinner. Who knows? If you're having, hopefully you're having a nice.
Probably too busy down the gym or walking the dog, according to what we're told by our listeners.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure.
What we're told by our listeners and what they're actually doing, I think, are maybe not the same thing. But Merry Christmas if you're listening on Christmas Day, and whatever day you're listening. Hope you're well. We love the fact that you listen to the show, and hopefully you continue doing that because we love helping you get this information about our beautiful game. All right, we've got questions from listeners. So first question is from Tom Mullally. He says, it's getting technical straight away, Kieran, Premier League rule R6.5 states that clubs adopt a system of concessionary ticket prices tailored to the needs of the local community. My question is, would the community groups that are affected by these changes be able to compel the Premier League to enforce this rule against the clubs?
Right, this is an intriguing one. It's quite a broad rule, Tom, in the sense that it says concessionary ticket prices. That means ticket prices for seniors and ticket prices for young people. So in theory, what the club should do is do a demographic profile to see the proportion of people who live locally, who fall within those groups. There is a case for doing that on what you might refer to as a socio-economic basis to determine the level of wealth involved. My observation is that clubs do this at a lip service level. You are from the city of Manchester, mm-hmm. PG. I lived 40 years in the city of Manchester. You are a Manchester United fan. I've been to Old Trafford and Manchester City on many occasions. And we both know that the surrounding... I used to live in Whalley Range. Mm-hmm. So, the walk up from Whalley Range to Old Trafford, I'll go and watch football. And in the 1980s, people forget that grounds were 3/4 full in the 80s. So it was always easy to get a ticket. But you walk up from Whalley Range to Old Trafford, it's not an area of wealth. So therefore, why were Manchester United last season charging 66 quid for a kids ticket? So yeah, this is unfortunately, Tom, I think that there is an issue in terms of clubs' pricing strategy, not necessarily reflecting the local community in terms of the wealth. But what the clubs will say is that we are now global brands. We have priorities, which are making sure that we comply with the cost control rules, and secondly, to create wealth for the owners. So, as far as community groups are concerned, I think that they would be unable to get any traction from the Premier League in terms of enforcing the rule. And also, it adopts a system of concessionary ticket prices. Well, what happens if we knock 10% off for old age pensioners? That is a system. You might not like the system. Trying to get much more traction with it, I suspect is going to fall on deaf ears, because the people making the decisions, they ain't from Wally Range. They ain't from Haringey. They ain't from places in around the country. Yeah, and this is not a xenophobic comment anyway, shape or form. Majority of them are from overseas, so they're not familiar. They don't even go to the matches. Quite a few of them. So why should they be aware of the economic challenges that face many families and young people and senior citizens in those areas? Remember, we've had on the show people from Spurs and West Ham in terms of sort of the Save Our Seniors campaigns, and these are people that are, in my opinion, having met them both on screen recording the show and elsewhere, they are smart, they are savvy, they are experienced in negotiations from a business point of view. And if they can't get anywhere with the clubs, I suspect that local community groups will have as little success. So it's a sad indictment of football, and also I think it's worth noting that this is a Premier League rule, and whilst not wanting to open what is continuing to be a very, very sore wound, very noticeable that FIFA's approach to concessionary prices is do one.
And would it be fair to say as well then that while Premier League rule R6.5 exists, it is a little too vague really to enforce in any way, shape or form?
It's tokenism, sadly. And that's what we see in many aspects of the way. And it isn't a criticism of the Premier League. The Premier League does many, many fine things, and this is down to individual clubs. And when you talk to individual clubs, they will point out at the many magnificent things that they do in the local community. The level of value added by the community schemes which are run by Premier League clubs is something which every fan of those individual clubs should be extremely proud of. The value of social benefit in terms of dealing with elderly people who are in danger of becoming detached from mainstream society in terms of being kids and so on, providing a place for loneliness and so on, is to be hugely applauded. But when it comes to ticket pricing, I don't think we're going to get much more progress than what we've got at present.
Now, we often see wonderful names, don't we, in the Price of Football inbox when the questions come in. But I think the name of our next listener may well be my favourite ever. This next question is from Huvernay Martinez. So thank you for your question, Huvernay. This is wonderful. Not only your name, but it's a great question too. So the question is, Kieran, what are your thoughts on the reasons why there are a lot more American owners / investors appearing in British football across the football pyramid? What is the appeal and what are the perks, especially at the lower levels? Is this simply the Ryan and Rob effect? Of course, referring to the Wrexham owners there. So, yeah, what is the big appeal? I think we've covered this a bit before on the show, haven't we? But just to put it in perspective, there is a huge amount of American investment at all levels of the pyramid, aren't there? And so what is the attraction? You can see the attraction at the top of the pyramid, but what is the attraction lower down?
Please don't take this the wrong way, Huvernay. It's another name for you, Dyson. I'm available all week. This is my Christmas cracker joke, and that's the standard one would expect.
Yeah.
Right. But back to your question, which is a very very valid question. If we take a look at football club ownership, if we go back, and I appreciate you're a lot younger than I am, Producer Guy, because you've not heard of Magnus Pike. You've not heard of Magnus Pike, and which I'll never let you forget, by the way. Okay. If you and I go back to when I started becoming involved in football, which was sort of my first season was 1969-70, and football clubs were local; they were not global. They weren't even national. You owned a football club because you were a success in that town or city. The arrival of the Premier League, and again, we have been somewhat distorted by time. The English football was a mess in the 1980s. It was a fairly shameful decade on many levels, with institutional issues, with fan issues, and nobody was interested. And the Premier League deserves a huge amount of credit for the implementation, first of all, of the Taylor Report, and its attempt to create an international appetite, which it's done very, very successfully. So first of all, we've now got international fans of football, where we didn't have 30 or 40 years ago. Then we have had Ted Lasso. For you and I, twee. It's the equivalent of a meal at the Burney Inn. They're not our sponsors, are they, by any chance? I'll just check it. You are the man with the list. And I've got nothing against the Burney Inn. You go there, sort of the end of the week, say what was the highlight? Burney Inn. So and it was perfectly acceptable. But I think for American audiences, it sort of did spark an impact. We underestimate the how Welcome to Wrexham has impacted upon interest in American investors. The American economy has, compared to Europe, compared to Japan and so many other markets, has been spectacularly successful over the course of the last decade. And as well as the economy growing faster than that of the UK and Europe, and therefore putting wealth into the hands of more people, that wealth has very much been concentrated in the hands of fewer and fewer. Again, this is not a political point. This is economics. Mm-hmm. So what are those people going to do with their spare cash? Because there's only so many houses, so many cars, so many yachts, so many holidays that you can go on. And if you take a look at the cost of buying an American sports franchise, that there are two issues. First of all, there's scarcity. There's not many NFL clubs. There's not many MLS clubs, and let's be honest, they're not necessarily hugely interested in MLS. It's not a global reach. No. NBA and so on. The American sports franchises are very, very expensive, so it's going to cost you billions of dollars as your entry fee. You might not want to have a bit of fun money invested, therefore, in a franchise. Yeah. Because it's going to cost you so much. It cost Rob and Ryan £2 million to buy Wrexham Football Club. Mm-hmm. So that's 1/200th of the cost of buying an NFL franchise. Yeah. And then you can spend a wee bit of money, and Wrexham were losing Wrexham probably lost $100,000 a week since the new owners came in. Yeah. That sounds like a lot of money, but again, doesn't move the dial in terms of the alternatives. And even if I wanted to go into MLS, it would cost me $250 million just as an entry fee into the franchise, and that's before I build the stadium, recruit the coach, and try to win some football matches. So actually, the prices paid at lower levels of English football are very, very low. So there's a cost factor. There is a genuine affection in the United States. We might, politically, we might not be feeling that we're loved by the United States these days, but on an individual basis, there's still a lot of love for the UK. And on the back of that, buying something in the old country does have that level of appeal. And that's why we have American owners of Carlisle United. We did have American owners of Crawley Town and other clubs dotted around the country at lower levels. And it's not just in England. The interest from American investors in Scottish football is also very significant. So there's a price issue. There is the Rob and Ryan issue. And my concern there is that I don't think that can be replicated, because they had first mover advantage. They also have the fact that they are extremely good at packaging the product. And that's because they're from Hollywood. If I'm a very successful tech guy, and we had the West Brom owner, and again, super smart guy, and I was so impressed by him when he came on the show, in terms of values, beliefs, strategy, and so on. But he didn't have a Hollywood factor, which can attract other interests. We've got Birmingham City again, third tier club, only last season, but the new owners have come in from the United States, and they are talking big. And there's another issue, which we sometimes refer to as FOMO. FOMO stands for fear of missing out. There's only 92 clubs in England and Wales that you can buy. Everybody else is buying them. I better go and buy one before the price goes up even further. And this drives things up. And it's a bit like Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. You actually create a virtuous circle in terms of value, and that's fine until people say, actually, it's cost me $100,000 a week. The fans are calling me rude names because we're not a success, and it's now time to get out and then we have another acronym, the find a bigger fall theory. I've owned this football club for 4 or 5 years. It's cost me $100,000 a week during that period. How am I going to get my money back? And at the moment, there's still a willing stream of potential owners to come in who will buy because demand exceeds supply. But you don't have to go too far in sport in this country. Let's take a look at rugby union. Let's take a look at rugby league. We've just lost. Again, we are familiar with Manchester Sport, and we've lost Salford Rugby League Club, who've gone into liquidation. We've lost London Irish. We've lost Wasps. We've lost Worcester Warriors in rugby union. Crisis in basketball, and so on. So all of the interest is focused on football. Will we reach a tipping point where the enthusiasm for United States owners, when they realise it's costing them a lot of money for little financial reward, little emotional reward, we've not reached that tipping point yet. Could it be reached? Yes, it could, but I still think that we're a few years off that point.
If you've shopped online, chances are you've bought from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout? The one that makes buying so incredibly easy? That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes it incredibly easy to start and run your business. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/promo. Go to shopify.com/promo.
This episode of The Price of Football is sponsored by Shopify. Let's face it, New Year is the best time to start that business you've been dreaming about. We all have great ideas and skills, but taking the first step and finally taking action is the thing that can turn your dream into your new future. January's short. Don't let February arrive without giving it a go. And remember, the most powerful move to make it all happen in 2026 is to start your business with Shopify.
Shopify gives you all the tools to easily build your dream store. You can choose from hundreds of beautiful templates that you can customize to build your brand. Setup is fast with Shopify's built-in AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines and help you edit product photos. Marketing is built in too. You can create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. And as you grow, Shopify grows with you. Handle more orders, expand to new markets, and do it all from the same dashboard.
In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your £1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.co.uk/priceoffootball. Go to shopify.co.uk/priceoffootball. That's shopify.co.uk/priceoffootball. Hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side. Stuart Mackenzie McIntyre has our penultimate question of this Christmas Day episode. He says, you often state how football clubs have this large fixed asset called a ground, which they can only use around 20 times a year. Also, a lot of football clubs have their women's team play matches at other grounds. I was wondering if clubs were to charge, say, a nominal £5 to attend a women's game, what percentage of the ground would they have to fill out to cover the standing costs of using the ground? So that's power, staff, security, ticketing, etc. If it's less than 50%, then surely it makes economic as well as moral sense to let their women's team play at the proper home ground. What do you think? Is there a tipping point?
Yeah, there's always a spreadsheet, Guy.
Mm-hmm.
I can assure you.
Of course.
And I have sat down with clubs and we've been through these spreadsheets. There are some other issues. Many clubs will have ground staff who do not want the pitch to be used more than it has to. So if you are a club that's participating in Europe, for example, you're playing Wednesday, Saturday. When are they supposed to reinvest in the staff in the ground maintenance? So it can be done. You've got to look at the amazing work that's been done at the Emirates, where Arsenal are now playing all of their home matches, I think, this season, in front of crowds which are higher than probably a third of those of Premier League clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be done, but the costs are actually quite significant, and at £5 a ticket, and the pricing of women's football, I think is a challenging one. You want to bring in the crowds, so therefore there's a case for pricing low. But if you price low, you are undervaluing the product. And once people have got into the habit of pricing low, if you charge a £5 when the market price should be something in the region of £15 to £20, how do you get to that £15 or £20? It's actually a very, very difficult transition from one price point to another. There's also a danger of if I've got a ticket to see, let's say, The Cure, and I've spent £80 on it,
Mm-hmm.
then even if the weather's crap, I'm going to go and see The Cure. If I've paid £4 or £5 for a ticket for the women's game, wake up that morning, it's piddling down. I say, it's only a £5. I'll give it a miss. So you end up with the physical attendance being significantly lower than the ticket sold, and then you say, actually, given that I know that I don't really have to buy a ticket in advance, I'll make my decision on the day, because. So there are all of these problems and challenges, which means that many women's teams are playing. Brighton play their matches at Crawley. They get okay crowds, but the price of a season ticket compared to the price of a men's season ticket is a very substantial difference, and trying to get that price point. So to go to the main stadium, and then when you talk to the players, do you want to be playing in front of a ground which is 90 or 95% empty? I have my last ever game of football took place at the Amex Stadium, and I paid for the privilege. Because it was a charity match, and the fact that there were 150 people watching, couldn't care less.
No,
I was on the pitch with Peter Ward, who turned up, and Gary Nelson and Andy Johnson of Crystal Palace. And for that. But if I was a professional, it's a slightly eerie atmosphere. So trying to get that balance right, I do think is a challenge for the WSL. And there's a lot of smart people there who have got their thinking caps on. My concern with WSL is that we don't get it right. It's in danger of going the same way as county cricket, whereas its purpose becomes providing players for the national team, and then the Lionesses sell out, and rightly so, because they are champions, and we're incredibly proud of their achievements, as seen on Spotty and so on. But the grounds themselves are an issue. It's additional cost for the ground staff. When we had the Leicester groundsman on the show 3 or 4 years ago, I was absolutely amazed at the budget that they have for ground maintenance. It really shocked me. And therefore the costs of rectifying a pitch where you're not bringing in much revenue from a match is an issue.
That sounded very definitive there, Kieran, that it was your final ever game of football. Was there are you ever tempted to get the boots back on?
Unfortunately not. I had decided to. In my mind, this was my last match, but this was about 6 months before I ran the Dublin Marathon, where I made possibly the dumbest decision, and it's got a lot of contenders, by the way. Possibly the dumbest decision of my life. When I was absolutely flying, Guy. I was going to knock probably an hour off my PB, and which wasn't a very difficult thing to do. But I was 21 miles in, and I felt my knee go. Yeah, and I thought, I think this could be quite serious. I really should stop. And and I got the two Jiminy crickets, Kieran, which is probably not a good idea. Just, and the other one going PB. Yeah. And I carried on, and that's why I walk with a limp a lot of the time. I've had two or three failed operations, and I've only got one leg that works, which breaks my heart. I loved running more than probably I love football, and having to being told, and let's put these into context. I can't play a sport that an activity that I boo hoo. That's as far as it goes. There are people with real problems in the world, but it was not very smart. So now I've been told can't play football. I can do walking football.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People said I was doing walking football before I retired. To be fair.
Quick question though: did you get your PB?
I did. Yeah,
okay.
I did it in 4 hours 10.
It wasn't. I
did it in 4 hours 10.
Yeah.
But I knew that it probably wasn't a very sensible thing.
Well, you may not think of it as your best decision ever, but you got your PB and you went out. Your football career finished at the very top, so you can't really do much better than that.
Yeah.
All right, our final question today is from Melanie Ingalls. If a player captains his team, does he get any bonuses for the extra responsibility and expectation of giving press interviews, etc.?
Usually, Melanie, that would not be the case. If you take a look at a player's contract there, and I'm fortunate that I get to see contracts when I'm doing other work. They are very tiered. They are very incentivized. What you might be able to do is, and this is probably more to do with the fact that you're a high-profile player than the captain, because we're fully aware that at some clubs the captain might be the solid number 6 rather than the flair number 7, shall we say? Mm-hmm. But if you manage to combine both of those, you might be able to do 1 or 2 more promotional activities where you'll be given additional funds, but that won't necessarily be because you're captain. It's because of your personality and so on. Bruno Fernandes, for example, magnificent player and the captain of Manchester United, will be able to tick both boxes. So no, it's not. I think most players are quite happy to see it as a vote of confidence by the coach, by the manager. And also remember, at some clubs, I think this is the case at Manchester City, where they sort of vote for who the captain is going to be at the start of the season.
yeah.
So that would be very difficult to implement into a contract.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, Melanie, thank you for your question. Thanks to everyone for their questions today. And thanks to everyone who has joined the Price of Football Club. If you'd like to join the club too and get every episode a day earlier than everyone else, ad-free listening and invite to our monthly Q&A sessions, bonus episodes, our Christmas quiz as well. We have our 2 Zoom quizzes.
Next week.
Yes, next week. Well, it'll be in the past now, won't it?
No, in the past. Oh, blimey,
Day.
I've gone into a Doctor Who time warp, haven't I?
We're into a vortex now where nothing makes sense. But yes, we have our Zoom quizzes and Q&As. So yeah, you get invites to all those. So just go to our website if you want to join the club, priceoffootball.com. If you have a question you'd like answered on the show, email us at questions@priceoffootball.com. Also, if anyone's got a message for Kevin, please send it in. We forwarded all the messages to him, as you heard last week when he thankfully returned to present last week's news show. We forwarded all those to him, and I think he is actually replying to everyone. So if you want to reply from Kevin yourself, then please do send us a message for him. Don't forget you can follow us on X and you can find us on YouTube. If you'd like to buy one of our books or even a Price of Football t-shirt, you can find all the details on our website.
Are there still any left?
I think so.
I half expecting these to see it turn up on the Elm Antiques Roadshow with Fiona Brusco. Ooh.
Yeah, well, we're 6 years in, and let's say sales have been. Well, I'll tell you what. This is my plea. Sales have been, let's say, sluggish as a kind word to use for 6 years of t-shirts being on sale. So if anyone wants to gift a t-shirt it's a bit late now because it's Christmas Day, isn't it? But next Christmas or next year, their birthday in 2026, treat them to a Price of Football t-shirt. You won't regret it. They're beautiful.
I think that's Producer Guy's way of saying that he's off to a car boot sale in February unless he shifts a couple more boxes.
Yeah, there we go. All right, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. I hope you've had a good time with your family. I also fully acknowledge, we have many messages from people that listen to the show. We are many men of a certain age. Christmas can be the best day of the year for many. It can also be the worst. For those of you that are lonely, for those of you that are down, all we can do is to send lots of love to you. I know from working with the Samaritans guys, Christmas is a very busy period for them. I've got friends in the police force. Christmas Day is unfortunately a very busy day for them as well. People go missing, domestic issues take place, and so on. So all the best and lots of love to you all.
Hear, hear. See you all soon.
Bye.
The Price of Football. The Price of Football.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here, wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.